All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, as you see on screen here, I got this article. All right, this is not going to be a long video at all. I just want to let you know what's going on, man. All right, so as you see on screen right here, all right, I got this article and it reads, Australia just became the world's first search prison, quote unquote. Citizens forced to upload digital ID to use Google. You see? You see how everything is being made mandatory, all right, toward digital ID with digital ID? This is how exactly it's going to be. All right, when the MOTB, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, when it's ushered out. All right, because you're going to be forced to get it, man, in order to be able to do things. All right, and that's why many people are going to line up, because without that MOTB, all right, you're going to be pushed out of society. All right, if you want to travel and buy groceries, right? If you want to do your everyday task or whatever you want to do, right? You're gonna have to get that MOTB, right? If you want to use the internet, you're gonna have to use the MOTB, and that's gonna bug a lot of people out, bro. All right, because people can't even go 5 minutes without using their phones, looking at their phones. 10 minutes, 20 minutes without using their phones, man. People don't know how to sit still, right? They can't go 10 minutes without scrolling on their phone, so that's gonna bug people out. People are not gonna know what to do with themselves. It's not like the 80s or 90s, the 70s, right, where people didn't need phones or technologies to conversate or talk, or come up with an idea to keep themselves busy, you know? So people are going to get that MOTB, all right, forced to get that digital ID, right? Australia just became the world's first search prison. Citizens forced to upload digital ID to use Google. So you're going to have to get that MOTB, digital ID, right, in order just to use the internet, bro. And that also goes into another prophecy known as the famine of the word, right? Because soon the entire internet is going to be done. The entire internet, the entire electrical grid, all right, is going to be all done away with, man. So people are going to bug out really, really soon. People are not going to have electricity, no internet. People are going to wow, bro. All right, and it's going to cause chaos, you know, and that just might be what ushers in the mark of the beast, when the electrical grid goes out, you know, when people don't have electricity. Because you know the elites are looking for the right type of event, the right type of chaos to usher in the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. If you want internet and electricity, if you want everything going back to normal, you get this RFID chip in your hand, right? People gonna be like, okay, like zombies, you know. But anyway, let's read this article. Let's see what's going on, all right? Because I didn't read this article yet, you know. I just read, you know, this portion right here, right? So it says it's happening, right? It's happening, all right? The open internet, yeah, all right? Because now pretty soon you're not going to be able to use the internet freely, right? And then pretty soon the entire internet is going to be done away with. that goes into the famine of the word, you're not gonna have the internet no more, and people are gonna flip, bro, flip. All right, it's happening. The open internet is dying before our eyes. You see, all right. In Australia, a new wave of regulation is quietly transforming the web into a monitored, ID verified space with anonymity. All right, no longer where anonymity no longer exists. Yeah. All right, and you really didn't have no anonymity to begin with, man. All right, they follow all your steps. All right, everywhere you go on the internet, you're being tracked, bro. You know, that's why Google takes all your information and they sell it. That's why you get ads that are tailored to you. You could be talking about, you could have a conversation about anything with someone, right? You be talking. You could say, "Oh yeah, that's my favorite type of water." Da, 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 da. You know, whatever brand it might be, right? And next thing you know, you're getting ads for that certain brand, right? Because they listen to you, man. All right, through your mic on your phone, you know. All right, so it says a new wave of regulation is quietly transforming the web into a monitor ID verified a space where anonymity no longer exists. All right. So it's more and more control is being placed on the people on this earth. All right, and that's the agenda of the elites, to have complete control. That's why they're going to usher in the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. Complete control, man. Have control of your money. You know exactly where your whereabouts are. All right, if you owe money, you know they could turn your chip off. Right now, you can't buy or sell anything. Right. You know, they could just automatically pull anything from your bank account, you know? It says, under the guise of protecting children, Australians will soon be forced to verify their age, all right? And by extension, their identity, all right? Every time, let me read that again. Under the guise of protecting children, Australians will soon be forced to verify their age and by extension their identity. All right, every time they log into a search engine like Google or Bing, you see. So now you're gonna need digital ID just to use the internet, man. All right, verify your age. You know, like they're saying right here, and it's under the disguise of protecting children. But we know what it's really about. All right, it's to push forth digital ID. Get the people used to living in a digital age, man. Condition them. So when the RFID microchip comes, right, you think it's just another step toward an advancement in society or something. Oh, all right, I'll get the chip. Or this is for humankind, or you know, mankind, or you know, the forward of technology. You know, you're gonna be a dumbass, man, and get it. But the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord are telling you that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, man. With great certainty and with great surety, we tell you these things, man. Because you will have the false prophets. All right, the false prophets will tell you that the mark of the beast is not the RFID microchip. All right, the false prophets will tell you that the mark of the beast is a spiritual thing. No, the mark of the beast is an actual physical thing that the elites want to implant under your skin. All right, that's what the mark of the beast is, the RFID microchip, man. All right, and we're telling you not to take it. All right, we are warning you not to take the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, because if you do, you're going to be burned by fire and brimstone, which is the nuclear missiles that are going to hit this earth, and definitely the nuclear missiles that are going to drown America with nuclear fire. All right, you know. So it says right here, the government calls it age assurance. All right, critics are calling it what it really is, the first step towards a digital ID prison planet. Yep, and that's the agenda of the elite bankers, right? It says Australians will soon have to verify age before using Google search, right? Australia's e-safety commissioner has officially registered a new industry code that compels major search providers to enforce age verification for all users. All right. The move is framed as a safety measure, supposedly to keep minors away from adult content. All right. But the methods of enforcement tell a darker story. The code allows providers to verify a user's age through photo ID, facial recognition, credit card data, all right, or a government linked digital ID wallet. Yeah, because to keep minors away from adult content, but you're asking for what? Credit card data, right? Or government linked digital ID. What young child has a credit card, right? Because in order for a child to use the internet, they're going to have to put in their ID, right? So it says the code allows providers to verify a user's age through photo ID, facial recognition, all right, credit card data, or a government-linked digital ID wallet, all right? So it says, think about what that means. To perform a Google search, something that used to be as natural as and anonymous as breathing, you may soon have to upload government-issued identification or submit your face to an algorithm, all right? Every keystroke, every curiosity, all right, every question you ever ask the internet could be tied directly to your verified identity, all right? No pseudonyms, all right? No incognito mode, no escape, all right? It says this dystopian shift didn't appear overnight. Yeah, gradualism, all right? It's called gradualism. They ease your way into it so it's not that obvious, right? It says this dystopian shift didn't happen overnight. It's part of a broader framework laid down by the Digital ID Act 2024, which came into effect late last year. All right, the act, sold as a voluntary measure to streamline government services, conveniently opened the door for private companies to integrate the same ID system. Now, search engines, the gateway to all human knowledge, are becoming the latest extension of that digital grid. Yeah, and they also want to make it harder for you to access information. That's why a lot of information is being deleted off the internet. And that's why now they gave you AI, right? Because they tailored AI, all right, to give you the answers that they want AI to give you, right? And also, pretty soon, that's why the internet is just going to be done away with, man. Because so much truth and knowledge is on the internet. All right, everybody is waking up in these last days, all right, to who these damn devils are, man. Right, and also because the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord are on the internet, all right, and they're waking up the elect. They're waking up the 1/3, man. Esau, Edom is being revealed, all right, that he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, that he's the man of sin, the son of perdition that the Bible speaks of, because the prophets are on the internet revealing this damn devil. All right, it says, now search engines, all right, the gateway to all human knowledge, are becoming the latest extension of that digital grid. Once your ID is tied to your search activity, the infrastructure for total surveillance is in place, right? And it's already in place now. They're just trying to perfect it, and they're just waiting for the right time, the right chaos, man, All right? They're doing all these trial runs, the scamdemic, the plandemic. That was a trial run for the MOTB, right? Let's keep reading. It says, in practice, all right, this whole snap thing, right? This whole the snap thing with the government shutdown, that's a trial run. You see how the people are going to react, right? In practice, this means that nearly every Australian will be affected. Google controls over 90% of the country's search traffic. Woo! All right. Providers To fail to enforce the new rules, all right, face penalties, all right, up to 49.5 million per breach, all right, Australian money, right? It says no company can afford that, so they'll comply, all right, and they'll err on the side of maximum data collection. The justification is always the same: safety, yeah, child protection, responsibility, yep. But these are the same buzzwords, all right, that have accompanied every major erosion of digital freedom. First, it was social media moderation, then fact checking, yeah, all right. Now, yeah, because when truth is brought out on the internet, especially like Facebook, right, the fact checkers come behind it, all right, and try to label it false, right? Oh, this is false, da da da. Yeah, because they don't want the truth coming out, right? These fake ass fact checkers, right? And now, age verification for search. Once digital identity becomes normalized, it will no longer be limited to adult content or risky behavior. All right, the same framework can easily be applied to speech, transactions, travel, and even political affiliation. All right, let's read that again. First, it was social media moderation, then fact checking, and now age verification for search. Once digital ID becomes normalized, all right, it will no longer be limited to adult content or risky behavior. Yep. All right. The same framework can easily be applied to speech, transaction, travel, or even political affiliation. All right. Critics online have already sounded the alarm, warning that this is the Trojan horse for a global digital identity regime. And this is what the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord, the Israelites of Great Millstone, and the ones that teach in like manner. All right, we've been telling you, bro, come on, man. All right, for ages and ages and ages, man. We've been telling you that the MOTB, the mark of the beast, is the RFID microchip that we're entering in a digital. Now you see, it's more and more evident, man. Because even like 5 years ago, you didn't see it so heavy like this. Everyone calling for a digital I mean, you did. Yeah, you did. Hell yeah, you did. But now it's just all over, everywhere on a higher and more great and grand scale, man. Are you not seeing it, bro? Like, come on, man. We're reporting on it. We're letting you know, and the people are still done up out here, man. You know? Are you living under a rock, or you not know what's going on? All right? You know? Constantly reporting on these digital IDs, man. These articles, all this information that's coming out. You know? The prophet's been letting you know. You know? And it's just, you know, all if you see what's happening, you see it's just being pushed constantly and constantly, bro. You know? It's coming fast, bro. You know? We're here, bro. We don't got too much longer. All right, so just to let you know what's going on, to read this article for you, you know, so you know what's happening. All right. Australia just becomes the world's first search prison. All right, citizens forced to upload digital ID to use Google. All right. So with that being said, call Halalyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakal Quitash. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazar. This lesson was edifying. All right. So on to the next one. Shalom. So